Hi there, my name's Rou. I'm the publishing editor at Tonic magazine, and I'm here to talk to you today about the incredible Halo Pro from Core. Core were quite late to the wing market. Obviously they're a huge brand in the kiteboarding industry, and they launched most of their wing gear a couple of years ago, so they were quite slow to get to the marketplace, but what they said they wanted to do was get the gear right first time. I've been riding the kit for a little while now on a couple of trips to South Africa and testing it in between, and what I will say about the Core gear, I think it's highly underrated in the industry. It's very easy to use, like so easy to use, and they've kept it fairly simple. So instead of having an enormous range like some of the other brands where you get totally confused as to what front wing you need, what rear stabilizer you need, what fuselage, they've kept it really straightforward. By keeping it straightforward, I think it makes it accessible, and it also, because it's easy to ride, makes it even more accessible. So if you haven't got Core on your radar for your wing gear, be sure to try and get a demo on it, and I think you'll be really surprised with how good the equipment is. So this is the Halo Pro. I actually rode the prototype version of this last year, but I couldn't talk about it because it was a prototype. So I've had a good week on it this year and had loads of fun riding it. The idea behind this is it's their high-end Alula super lightweight high performance wing. So they've done a few things here to keep it really light. Number one, the Alula fabric. If you don't know what it is, it's lighter, stiffer material that replaces the Dacron that was traditionally used, which was always a little bit heavier. It's a little bit difficult to work with, so it takes the brands a while to create, which makes it a lot more expensive, plus the material is expensive itself. So you are paying a premium price for a premium product. However, I think in the wing market, where stiffness is key, especially when it comes to pumping and generating power from the wing, Alula really has a place. So further weight saving, they've kind of kept all the reinforcements to a minimum and just tried to minimize any extra bits and pieces on the wing itself, so they keep the weight down. And then they've gone for this one-piece carbon handle. Now that's not something you see an awful lot of, and if you haven't ridden with one, it's definitely worth trying one because it's quite interesting. The reason they've gone for the one piece, it reduces the weight significantly. Okay, when you've got a two-piece handle, you've got 4 connection points. Those connection points all need to be massively beefed up to be able to take the strains and stresses that's put on them. So that all adds weight. So by going with a one-piece carbon handle, you've only got the 2 connection points. Now this handle is super stiff and it's quite a thin diameter, so it feels really good on the hands, and it's bizarre how good it is to ride with it. I'm just going to check and see what the wind angle's like here, because I don't want to sort of hide my face, and hopefully you can still see this, but you can hold it with one hand. Okay, and that's great if you're getting out in waves or anything like that. Being able to hold it in one hand, you can then transition and move it to the other hand as well, and that makes it really useful in certain cases. So lots of times I've used it this week, just getting out off the beach, leash is caught around my leg or something like that, or turning up my headphones, or just doing a jibe, coming out of a tack. Having that one hand ability is really useful. It also means you've almost got infinite possibilities of where you can put your hands on the boom as well, because you can move it up and down, and it's quite a simple system. It's not like the booms of the first wings that came out where you had to attach them to the leading edge and there was loads of different bits and pieces and it was just a bit of clutter and added weight. This is really lightweight, really simple and beautifully executed. The downside of it, of course, is that it doesn't pack away so small, so you do end up with a slightly larger wing when it's deflated to store at your garage or take home with you and put in your car, but I don't think that detracts from how useful it is. There's a really nice handle on the front there, which is a decent size as well, so when you're flagging out, that feels really good in your hand. And when you're riding with this wing, the stiffness really is very apparent. So when you do a couple of pumps to get going, it's super stiff. Like, you really don't notice any flex in it at all, and that means direct power transfer through your body, into your legs and into the foil, which will get you up and planing early. So that's something I really like about the Halo. Another thing is when you're tacking and jibing and you're maneuvering the wing around, because it's so light, it just feels effortless to fly around above your head. It has got quite a big leading edge profile here, I would say, and so when it's really windy, it can just be a little bit more effort to get it over your head when you're tacking. However, that's about the only time I kind of found anything that I didn't massively like about it, but that's to do with all wings. When it gets super overpowered, it's really hard to graunch it over your head when you're going into the tack, and having a really thin profile on the leading edge makes that easier, but obviously the thinner the profile, the flappier the wing is, and you lose all the other benefits. So I think they've gone for a good compromise here. In terms of the materials used elsewhere, they've got the Cortex 2 material on the canopy, which is a triple ripstop material, so that should be fairly solid as well. And everything is premium, so everything is super lightweight. They've kept all the reinforcements to a bare minimum just to try and make this one the lightest wings around, and I think that adds to the performance massively. So if you've not heard much about Core in the wing industry and you haven't tried them, I recommend that you do, because this is a wing that's going to surprise you. It flies upwind, it's great fun flagged out, it's really stable. It's a beautifully crafted wing, and I would highly recommend anyone that has a go on it is probably going to want to think about making a purchase. Unfortunately, the downside being a Lula, it is a little bit more expensive, so it is going to cost a pretty penny, but I think it does make a difference in the wing industry. I think that stiffer leading edge does make a real difference, especially when you're pumping in light winds or when you're overpowered. It just makes the canopy feel a lot more stable. Is it worth the price point? Depends how big your wallet is. That's the bottom line on that one. If you can afford it, you're going to enjoy the benefits. If you can't afford it, don't worry, go for something like the Core XC, which we tested before. That's a beautiful wing as well, really easy to use.